I miss Tristan. Did I say Tristan? Is there anybody here I didn't holler the name? Who?
Logan.
Oh.
I might share here. Yeah.
Oh. You have one too?
Yeah.
So Tristan was the no. Logan. So is this all of you guys, this is like your second meeting?
This is my third meeting.
You're Logan?
Yeah.
2, 3. And you guys are watching the videos?
Yeah.
Alright. Just trying to keep it square.
Last time we were going over, last week for everybody, we were going over field position where you need to be. One thing we forgot to cover was interference and obstruction. When you guys are doing peewees, we do not call that. We tell the coaches that we don't call it, but every year we have coaches asking you guys, why aren't you calling interference? Why aren't you calling obstruction? And there's a couple of reasons for that we don't do that, and we normally don't even go over with you guys. But we feel we should, just so that you know what it is, you know how to call it. But remember, we're not calling it at this age. So, you want to start this? Runner on first. Does everybody know what obstruction and interference is? Pretty much.
What's obstruction? I'm going to give an answer. So obstruction would be if the fielder gets in the way. Right?
And interference is if the runner gets in the way of the fielder. Right? So typically to call a interference or obstruction, the ball typically has to go past. So if you've got a pitcher on first base, I'll play your second base on that, shortstop, third base. So to make that call, so if this runner's coming up through here and this fielder is standing here, the ball's hit. If these two run into each other or interfere in each other, either way, obstruction or interference, and this runner continues on to here, then you've got something to call. But if that runner never makes it to there, I guess I'm going about this the wrong way now. To make the call, the ball has to pass an infielder, right? Okay. So the ball has to pass an infielder first. The problem we run into with peewees is your pitcher that's standing here isn't really a pitcher, they're an infielder. And with your infield first, second, short, and stop all playing inside the baseline, there's a highly chance that this ball is going to pass the pitcher or it'll pass another infielder before it reaches the baseline to make an interference obstruction call. Plus, at 5 years old, I don't think coaches are teaching the kids how to avoid an obstruction and interference at that point.
So basically like that, even if, in all reality, this runner goes here, the only way you would have anything here would be if there was a play made on the runner. If the runner wasn't ever able to get to second base. Alright? So, don't let the coaches talk you into trying to call it. None of the kids of that age group play in the proper position. I mean, rarely. You know, might see some 7U teams that are fairly decent.
Good example, when I coached softball, we had a runner on second, and every time the pitcher would throw the ball, this runner would take off, and this fielder would step into the baseline. My runner would turn around and go back. An old umpire friend of mine was standing out here, And every time I did, come on, Blue, can't make the base. And he'd just look at me. And it went on and on and on. And finally, after the inning, I went up to the umpire and talked to him. He said, well, I can't call anything. If your runner had went around her and didn't make it, was thrown out, then I could call it. Or if they would have collided, I could have called it. And that umpire was right. So, that was my lesson on learning that rule. Just remember, there has to be a result of the play to call it.
Dang, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Better memory than me.
So. But again, we just wanted you guys to be aware of it. We don't want you to call it. If the coach asks you why you're not calling it, just tell them that you've been instructed by the office that we're not calling it at this age, at 5, 6, and 7. Even 18 machine pitch, right? Right. And if they have any questions about that, just call the office. Just leave it at that, okay? All right. You guys got any questions on that or anything? We just felt it was necessary to touch on that. You want to hit AU rules real quick, and then we'll move over here. We'll pull AU machine pitch.
And it's a strong possibility some of you, if you catch on quick and you're doing good, you end up doing some AU. These pay more money, but they are a half hour longer. Okay?
So one of the main differences between all the rules we covered so far for Pee-wees and AU machine pitch, it's still technically Pee-wees, I guess, because it's using a machine, is like Rod said, your games are 90 minutes long instead of an hour. And it's not 90 minutes or an hour and a half drop dead. That's where we talked about you set your timer for an hour and 25. Timer goes off. You finish the player at bat if either team can win. If one team can come back and win, you got to complete the inning. It's still a maximum 5 runs per inning or 3 outs, whichever occur first. In the 8U, you have to have 8 players instead of 6. That's another difference.
This is coming out.
Yep, that's coming out. Move that a little bit. Up.
It used to be we didn't allow composite bats. We found that it's way too difficult we prefer not to. It's way too difficult to police, including for you all. So then you have parents, coaches out there complaining, hey, you don't know for sure whether it's a composite bat. So basically, don't worry about it. Okay?
You guys know when we're talking about the 5-minute rule and you not start, you guys know how that works. We need to explain a little more. I mean, we can if you want. It's up to you. It's basically, I think we didn't go over these guys, did we? We want to cover it. Explain a little better than I can.
Alright, so basically in the OCAC, a new inning begins on the final out. Okay? We all know that? So as soon as the final out is made, the new inning begins. Right? You set the timer for 5 minutes less, so you're going to set the timer on an AU machine pitch, we set it for an hour and 25, or an hour and 30-minute ball game. That timer goes off at an hour and 25, that means you don't start a new inning. Now, the final out of the previous inning happens, and then the timer goes off, you have to start the next inning. Okay? Because theoretically, that inning had already began. Right? And at that point, you'll play based on run rule limits. Right? We won't go into heavy details on with you.
But if neither team could, when you start that inning, if neither team can come back and win, then it's done.
Right.
Alright.
Same thing, teams will always have roster.
This is another difference between 5, 6U, 7U. They still get 5 pitches, like normal. If the 5th pitch is fouled off, the batter continues to receive pitches and remains that bad as long as he or she continues to foul pitches off. So if fifth pitch comes in, they swing, they foul it off, they just keep going until either they put it in play or they're called out. The other difference is they only get 3 swings at it. So
They can strike out.
So they can't swing at all 5 pitches. They can only swing at 3.
And if they take the last pitch, they're out.
So if they swing at 2 and 2 out of the 4 and just watch the 5th one go by, they're done. You guys got any questions about that? That's one big confusion that we see between one from the Pee-wees up to 8U.
And what you'll find out is that the shed, they've got really nice size, they've got really nice size rules
Yeah.
posted to the wall.
Yeah, we post these in the shed, so if you ever
So
get up there.
in the beginning, get in the habit, do a quick read over that, look at what you're gonna be umping, look on that wall real quick, and you're good to go. Just always remember, hour and a half and hour, 2 different rules. You do that, if you get into that habit, then you'll know, oh, okay, I gotta change gears here.
And there should always be one of us there when you start your game, so if you have questions, just ask. Rest of this is pretty much the same, no bunting, batter is out or dead ball, runners can't leave the base until the ball's hit, no infield fly. Now this one changes a little bit between the other ones, because this one now you're allowed to advance at your own risk, 1 base on an overthrow. Scroll up a little bit.
Anything as before, dead ball,
I
same.
missed that one. Go back there. So,
Runners may advance at their own risk at a maximum of 1 base. The defense overthrows, okay, example, batter runner is trying to stretch a single into a double, the defense overthrows second base and the runner attempts to advance to third, the defense overthrows third, the runner may not advance. So it can only happen 1 time. Okay? So they only get the game once. If they throw the ball twice trying to get the runner out, it doesn't matter at that point. Everything else is the same, isn't it?
yeah, so all the rest of these rules are pretty much the same. Ball touches the generator, it's a dead ball. Ball hits the coach umpire Karen, it's still considered a live ball. The other difference will be down here defensive. Scroll down a little bit, David. They're up. On the younger one, the 5-6U and the 7, we allow 2 defensive coaches. At 8U, we're only allowing 1 coach out in the field instead of 2. All your offense positions are still the same. We still allow coach behind the plate or behind the plate to help the catchers. And that's about it. So there's only just a few differences, but they are major differences between them.
Hopefully if you get on one, you'll be out there with somebody that's already done it. Hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Anybody got any questions on the differences? The video or what do you
Yeah,
think?
I think we'll go a little bit video. We're gonna let you watch some more of that field, how to move your feet. Some of you weren't here. I'll let you watch some more of that. Anybody who's saying player pitch, that will be a different video. Just so you know, so maybe you'll strike no video on that one. Watch some more of that. We're gonna get some paperwork to people that weren't here last week, and we're gonna go over a little bit regarding remainder of training amidst the pandemic that we're having. Okay? Video away.